everyone, I'm Gloria S. Crump with the Coastal Leaders Real Estate, and I'm the Queen of Real Estate. And we have Brenner Sweat today here with Ellis Inspection and Ellis Home Inspections. Thank you for joining for tea and crumpets.
Absolutely, glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Definitely. So you're Isle Inspections and Ellis Home Inspections now. So give us a little background of the company and.
I started Island Inspections, I believe it was 2014, 2015.
Oh wow, yeah, almost 10 years.
Right. So, did that for a while, and we've had good success with that.
Yep.
For the longest time, I was a one-man operation, and we had a I guess you'd call him, I call him a legend, Jim Ellis, who's been in the inspection business for, he started in the previous millennium. So that's going back. I think he started in the late 90s, and he was looking to get out of it, and I saw him one day and inspecting a home right across from me where we were at, and we started talking, and here we are.
And fate had it.
He's looking to get out, and we're looking.
He's been doing it quite some time.
Right.
And you have too, actually. I mean, because 10 years. That's a long time.
Right.
So, and then what areas do you actually inspect in? You not just
we've got
Alabama,
inspectors.
But you do
Correct. We've
Florida.
got inspectors in Pensacola, and we also service the Mobile area.
Great.
We go to. I think we've got 6 inspectors total. We do the all of Baldwin County, Mobile, Pensacola. We will go as far as Navarre and Destin whenever we get special requests, mainly for stucco. We do a lot of stucco.
Yeah, we'll be talking about stucco here in a minute, but definitely. And so, do you go, Atmore? Do you go north in Baldwin County as well?
Yeah, we'll go to we'll go to Atmore. And look, we're not just confined to Baldwin County. We'll go. If we have a realtor that we've done business with before, we'll go outside of those areas to accommodate the renters.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, when you develop that trust and people know that you'll do a good job,
absolutely.
They might not know somebody in the Atmore area or the Navarre area, so that is good to know. And then now y'all obviously do homes and you do condos, but there are different types of home inspections that y'all do. What are those?
Here in Alabama, it's mainly the stucco and moisture intrusion. Over in Florida, you've got the wind mitt and the 4-point, which helps with the insurance.
And what is a 4-point inspection?
4-point is you're looking at the HVAC, the roof, the plumbing, and the electrical.
Okay, gotcha.
Is what that is.
And that just goes into a little bit more depth than what a typical home inspection does. Is that correct? Or is that
it's just looking at those components, verifying that they're in satisfactory condition for the insurance
requirements. Okay.
Correct.
All right. And then y'all do also fortified recertified.
Yeah. We do the fortified, recertified. We've got a guy that's been doing that for a while now, and there's been some of these insurance breaks have been huge with people.
Oh yes, especially down in this area, of course.
Right.
And because the fortified, the certifications are only good for 5 years. So every 5 years, someone has to come out there and get recertified, so that way you can still get your brake and your insurance.
Get it renewed.
Yes, definitely.
And we do a lot of the moisture inspections.
Oh yes,
we're going to be offering mold and.
Yes. Well, that is good because down here it's very common, and people leave their homes. They're not occupied all the time, and there's issues when, people show up and like, oh, wait a second, we've had a leak, or talking about stucco, which we'll talk about, people, the caulking and things, and just water intrusion.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's great. And then y'all have the infrared equipment.
We do. We have infrared, which helps us pick up heat signatures behind sealed areas.
In the inspections.
Right.
Yes.
And it's very important in that industry that you get proper training for that as well, because those things can really fake you out if you don't know how to use them.
Really?
It can show, you got to know what you're looking at.
Oh, good.
So we make our guys go through all the proper training.
Oh, that's great. Now, we talked about, we see a lot of homes. It's not necessarily pronounced EFIS. That's why I was laughing about the southern version, but it's EFIS.
EFIS. I
Yes,
thought for the
EFIS.
longest time
Yes.
it was EFIS. Thank you, Jim Ellis.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so I learned today that that's not the proper pronunciation, but it's EFIS and stucco. But EFIS is a form of stucco. It's
Correct.
just not the it's the one that people are afraid
It's not the
of.
hard coat. Right,
Yeah,
right.
So what is the difference between that type of stucco, the EFIS stucco, and the good stucco?
Right. Stucco is a traditional stucco. The hard coat is it's a 3-coat process. You got the base coat, and then 2 smaller. You got a brown coat and then a finish coat on top. And with that system, it's still important to make sure everything stays sealed, to keep it maintained, make sure all cracks and all that stays sealed. But EFIS is basically just the first 2 layers, then you've got styrofoam. So
and that's where you see
we see some
mesh.
issues. Yes, correct. And then you've got the styrofoam. Depending on what type it is, you've got some the white styrofoam behind that. Usually is what we see. That's very important. And look, EFIS is okay if it's installed right, but that's the thing. It's got to be installed right.
And what we always see when we see issues is obviously it was not technically installed correctly.
Correct.
And so I always heard the trick to figure out, is it the hard stucco or if it's the EFIS stucco, is you can knock on it. And if it sounds hollow, then it's most likely the EFIS stucco.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. That's a very good tip. Now with that said, they offer there's 20 or 30 different types of EFIS, and if we do a home and we see that it's got stucco, you're probably not going to need a stucco inspection. Probably 1 out of every 3 or 4 we do, we recommend a stucco inspection.
Okay.
If it's touching grade or if there's some excess
openings or cracks. And that means if the siding is below ground, is what you're talking about when it's touching grade. Like the soil's above the siding. For people who might not know.
Right. Yeah. So if it's EFIS and it's touching grade, then there's an issue with that. Correct. If it's regular stucco, they say 6 inches, but with that said, there's been plenty of installations that have been installed like that, and they've had no issues noted on regular stucco. Now we can't see what's going on up under there, so it's always best to stick to practices which are 6 inches.
Exactly. Just pull the soil, or a lot of times people use pine straws landscaping, and so it just ends up getting wet from the rain and moisture, and could cause issues.
If that stuff gets buried, it's a problem.
So you want it to be at least, you said about 6 inches off ground. So,
correct.
Which is above grade. So now you don't see, I guess, so to speak, common, but you were saying how you do see it sometimes as trim work more so, like even on stucco homes with a hard coat stucco, you might see them using the EFIS around for the trim.
Right, they'll use it on trim work around the window frames, columns, and that kind of thing. And at that point, just keep the areas where the EFIS touches the concrete, just keep that sealed. Basically.
Okay. And so that's so really, like people use for around windows. That's a trick to keep the moisture out. So use silicone or the exterior caulk.
Correct.
So that's just an easy thing, and then keep the grade level down. So, because insurance is also affected by the EFIS if they find out that, because it's just high moisture.
Correct. And gutters and downspouts help as well too.
Yeah.
We don't use a lot of gutters and downspouts down here, but apparently they're more prevalent in other places, because everybody that moves down here, they'll ask me, how come there's no gutters and downspouts?
It is a very common question I get too. They're like, nobody has any gutters around here. I'm like, no, you can put some. So it is just kind of funny. So, and then typically, what we see a lot of times in the home inspections that we get is always a GFCI outlet.
Oh yeah.
There's always at least one out.
GFCI,
leaky faucets, things of that nature.
Right. Loose toilet, leaky shower head, light bulbs. It's I don't think I've ever done a home inspection where I haven't found at least something,
Oh, yeah.
And
they probably think you didn't do your job.
Yeah, exactly, right.
You gotta find something.
But we take so many pictures that it's I'm big on taking a bunch of pictures, but
no, we appreciate that.
Even if it's knowing how to report is just as important as knowing what to report, if that makes sense.
Well, it does, because a lot of our clients do not live near here, so by the time that we have an offer accepted, they are already back at their home, wherever it may be, so they need the pictures because they're not present for the home inspection.
Sure.
So it's great. We love photos. So.
Oh, absolutely.
It is great. So, and then, and you know, just a couple little tips for our homeowners, you know, not even if they're planning on selling their house, but, you know, just for ongoing maintenance and care. I mean, you know, we talked about the caulking, how easy that is to help prevent moisture intrusion and things of that nature. I mean, that's just so easy that people can do around their windows.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and then also, you know, the boots that come out of the roof. A lot of times people don't even think about that.
It's a good idea to have your roof inspected like once a year.
Yes.
Annually, they say do that just to make sure that, kind of like an HVAC system.
Yeah.
You know, you can have you can get an extended service on an HVAC system.
Yeah.
They'll come out and take
Well,
care
too,
of
like,
that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea, especially with architectural shingles. A lot of times the wind, you know, shingles will blow off and then it's exposed. So,
correct.
And then, you know, even too with metal roofs, you see how the screws are doing, because you know, they'll start rusting out if they didn't use stainless.
There's rubber grommets under there, and they can go bad.
Yep, exactly. And I just, you know, a lot of times we'll see home inspections and the boots, you know, especially with the exhaust fans and things of that nature, just water. You can tell there's been moisture. So, you know, just little things like that that's not very expensive that can help prevent very costly repairs.
Absolutely. If you stay on top of it, it's usually.
I know. I need somebody to do this for me. I talk about it all the time, but I don't do it. So it's harder when I'm going to use the female card. It's hard to be a woman and a homeowner. So I prefer men doing all that work. So
that's a good one.
Yeah. So
you're justified using it.
Exactly. So, but yeah, I hope, you know, I think the difference telling people about the eaves and the stucco is important, because a lot of times people are just afraid of that, and it might not be a bad situation if it was done correctly.
Correct.
Yeah. So not everybody needs to see that as a siding and
no. And I'll go so far as to say most of the eaves that we see, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It's the kind that was installed where it's buried under grade, or there's didn't allow for proper weather tightening or weather sealing or drainage. So that's good to know, because I have had a couple of people shy away completely from it, just not knowing. It's kind of, but really, I mean, it can be okay. It just depends on those items. Right. There's no sense in hitting the panic button until we go out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you come in to let us know if they really need to panic or not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, good deal. Well, we're going to have his contact information at the end of the video, so that way people can call you.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
And too, you know, people can obviously, if they're not even thinking about listing their house, but just need to have, you know, professional eyes look at it, definitely give them a call, and that way you can see if there's anything major.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having us.
Yeah, well, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for watching. Hope y'all learned something.
Thanks, guys.